there's probably nothing more debate or talked about in our industry right now than electric vehicles.
This is where you make the hydrogen, because you're turning electricity into oxygen and hydrogen.
The race for the future of cars just got real, and Toyota just surprised everyone with a new engine that might change the future of cars. Electric cars were coasting along, thinking they had the green lane all to themselves. Tesla and BYD were practically doing a victory lap, patting themselves on the back for their battery-powered brilliance. But Toyota's CEO, Koji Sato, just crashed the party with a bombshell that's got the whole industry shook. What's the big deal, you ask? Well, let me explain. What's happening? While the rest of the industry's scrambling to perfect their electric powertrains, Toyota's busy reinventing the wheel. They've taken the rulebook of sustainable transportation, torn out all the pages, and used them to fuel their hydrogen-powered ambitions. It's like they found a loophole in the laws of automotive physics, and they're exploiting it for all it's worth. The potential here is off the charts. We're talking about cars that could refuel as fast as gas engines, with range that could make electric car owners weep with envy. And the best part, the only emission is water vapor. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The big question on everyone's mind is, can this new engine really destroy the competition? It's a bold claim, sure, but Toyota's got the track record to back it up. They're the ones who made hybrid cars a thing with the Prius, remember? When Toyota innovates, the world tends to follow. But let's have a closer look at what they are about to bring. What's the deal? Imagine a world where the internal combustion engine gets a futuristic makeover. That's what's happening with hydrogen combustion engines. On the surface, they might look similar to your everyday internal combustion engine, sharing familiar parts like pistons, crankshafts, and cylinder heads. However, when you dig a little deeper, you'll find that these engines undergo some serious modifications to squeeze out every bit of performance and guarantee rock-solid reliability. First off, let's talk about the fuel injection system. Hydrogen isn't like gasoline. It's got this low density and crazy high diffusivity that make it a bit tricky to handle, so it needs a special kind of fuel injection system. Here's where direct injection systems come into play, shooting hydrogen straight into the combustion chamber. This nifty trick helps sidestep the usual backfire risks that can crop up with port injection systems. Then comes the ignition system, which needs to be tweaked too. Why? Because hydrogen's ignition energy is seriously low. You have to adapt those spark plugs to keep things running smoothly. We're not talking about just any spark plugs either. They need to be crafted from materials tough enough to withstand higher temperatures. Plus, the timing of the ignition has to be spot on to dodge any pesky pre-ignition or knocking that might occur. Now, let's delve into the combustion chamber design. To get the most out of the hydrogen and air mix, there's a need to enhance turbulence within the chamber. It's not just about stirring things up, it's about optimizing combustion efficiency. Some engineers even go for disc-shaped chambers, as these can work wonders by reducing excess turbulence and ensuring a uniform blend of hydrogen and air. While the technology behind them is formidable and definitely a sight to behold, what really gets exciting is the amazing environmental benefits they're set to deliver. I mean, have you considered the potential of these engines? The clean fuel of the future. Imagine driving a car that releases nothing harmful into the air. Just a bit of water vapor. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But that's the real deal with hydrogen vehicles. Zero tailpipe emissions set them miles apart from traditional internal combustion engines that spew out carbon dioxide and other pollutants. It's like breathing in fresh mountain air instead of being stuck behind a bus on a busy city street. Furthermore, if the hydrogen comes from renewable sources like wind or solar energy, it's the icing on the eco-friendly cake. Suddenly, the idea of green hydrogen becomes not just a possibility, but a significant stride toward combating climate change. Now let's talk about the refueling side of things. We all know the waiting game when charging an electric vehicle. It's like watching paint dry. Hydrogen cars, though, they're quick. Refueling a hydrogen vehicle is as fast as your standard gas station pit stop. Just a few minutes and you're done. Think about it. No more planning your day around charging stops or sitting in your car swiping through endless social media feeds while you wait for juice. It's simple, effortless, and fits seamlessly into our busy lives. That's a hefty advantage for consumers who value their time. Think about the future where the best of both worlds merge. The need for cleaner air and the love for cars that feel just right. Hydrogen vehicles offer more than just benefits. They promise to reshape driving into something both exhilarating and responsible. From zero emissions contributing to a healthier planet, speedy refueling that aligns with modern lifestyles, to preserving an authentic driving sensation, these vehicles are not just a glimpse of what's possible. They are paving the road to what should be the norm. Embrace the journey as hydrogen technology opens up a new thrilling chapter in automotive history. The potential of hydrogen technology rings out loudly, carrying with it the the hope of greener roads and enthusiastic drivers who can have their cake and eat it too. As more people realize these benefits and industries adapt to support this kind of innovation, that dream of a sustainable and pleasurable driving experience will transform from niche to commonplace. Step into the driver's seat of a hydrogen vehicle and you're part of a narrative that's about more than transportation. You're driving toward a future filled with potential and purpose. Hydrogen engine over electric vehicle. Electric vehicles are undoubtedly the reigning champions of clean transportation, but let's pause and take a closer look at the bigger picture. Those batteries? They're stirring up quite the debate regarding their true eco-friendliness. From the extensive mining of raw materials to the daunting challenge of recycling or disposing of them once they reach the end of their lives, the situation is more complicated than most folks realize. It's opening a whole can of worms. Even Akio Toyoda, the CEO of Toyota, is not convinced that electric vehicles are the ultimate solution for green driving. So why the skepticism? Well, it turns out that electric vehicles have their own set of limitations, and the reality is that consumers aren't exactly flocking to dealerships to snatch them up. Now, imagine this, a game-changing alternative that might just be the solution we've been waiting for. Picture trading in those expensive, resource-draining lithium-ion batteries for something radically different. If Toyota manages to pull this off, we could be witnessing a complete transformation of the current obsession with electric vehicles. Suddenly, the future could look like a diverse lineup of vehicles, giving us drivers plenty of options. But hang on, there's even more to unpack here than just the allure of sleek cars. And here's the exciting part. They're not tackling this challenge solo. Toyota has joined forces with the government and other influential players in the industry to ensure that the regulatory landscape fosters this groundbreaking innovation. It's like they're constructing an entirely new playground for clean technologies to thrive. Now, let's turn it up a notch. This innovative water engine technology is not limited to zipping around town in a compact car. Toyota envisions a world where hydrogen-powered trucks transport goods across the nation, and factories operate efficiently, powered by hydrogen. They're dreaming big, the concept of an entire hydrogen economy that could revolutionize not just our wallets, but also the health of our planet. Toyota's water engine could mark the dawn of an incredible shift. They're aiming to think beyond mere mechanics. Their aspirations extend to igniting a full-blown hydrogen-powered revolution. We're talking about cracking the code on producing, storing, and transporting hydrogen as if it were a walk in the park. The water engine myth. Now, you're probably wondering, why hasn't anyone made this before yet? Since the very beginning of the automobile age, the concept of using water as a power source has captivated the curious minds of inventors and engineers alike. Water is literally all around us. It's renewable, abundant, and seemingly inexhaustible. This raises the question, why wouldn't it serve as the ultimate fuel for our vehicles? It's no surprise that innovators have scrambled to harness this life-giving liquid, dreaming of a day when our cars could run on something as crucial as water. For decades, brilliant thinkers, equipped only with their imagination and an unwavering belief in what could be, have sought to unlock the energy held within this plentiful resource. But wait a second, let's pause for a reality check. When you hear that water is everywhere, it might sound like the perfect solution for an endless energy source, right? Wrong. Water isn't a magic energy fountain. It's more of a sly middleman in this game. It doesn't generate energy on its own. Instead, think of it as a courier, carrying energy around like a molecular backpack, ready to deliver but not produce. This method is designed to split water into its basic components, hydrogen and oxygen, by applying electricity. When those two gases combine, they theoretically produce energy that could power an engine. Sounds fantastic on paper, doesn't it? However, the catch is that the system must be incredibly efficient, generating more energy than it consumes, which has consistently proven to be a monumental challenge. Enter Toyota, whose current mission is to create a water engine that doesn't behave like an energy vampire, one that consumes more power than it delivers. The laws of thermodynamics lay it all out for us. Energy can't be created or obliterated. It can only undergo transformation. Sure, extracting energy from water seems appealing, but let's be real. Getting the process to kick off requires more energy than we're actually able to harvest out of it, meaning it's just not efficient. That lack of efficiency explains why all previous attempts at crafting water-powered engines have been a total flop. Let me tell you about some of them. Failed trails. The history of water-powered propulsion is a roller coaster filled with self-proclaimed geniuses, each claiming to have unraveled the secrets of using water as a fuel source. You've got everything from quirky garage inventors to renowned visionaries purporting to have the next big thing in sustainable energy, and their promises often sound like they tumbled right out of a science fiction novel. However, the reality is more sobering. Most of these claims turned out to be either naive misunderstandings of fundamental physics or outright fraudulent schemes. Let's take a closer look at Stanley Meyer, who burst burst onto the scene in the 1990s with his flashy invention known as the water fuel cell. Meyer declared that his cutting-edge device could split water into hydrogen and oxygen using a minimal amount of energy. Sounds great, right? The media ate it up like it was the hottest scoop of the decade, and eager investors flocked to him. But hold on just a minute. The scientific community's skepticism was palpable right from the get-go. Sure enough, Meyer's invention was later debunked as an elaborate hoax. To add an eerie twist to the story, his sudden death brought a shroud of mystery that only deepened the intrigue. Fast forward to 2002, and we find Genesis World Energy stepping onto the stage, boasting a revolutionary device purportedly capable of extracting energy directly from water. They gathered heaps of investor cash, yet somehow never managed to deliver a functioning product. The owner, Patrick Kelly, ultimately faced the music and was sentenced to prison for fraud in 2006, a fitting ending to a tale riddled with deception. And just when you thought the saga couldn't get more outrageous, 2006 also saw Sri Lankan Tushara Priyeldasinha claiming he drove a car 190 miles using just 3 liters of water. The buzz was so loud that even the Prime Minister backed him up. But guess what? Tushara was later arrested for fraud, his lofty claims only proving to be yet another exaggerated fantasy. Now we jump forward to 2022, where yet another hopeful inventor, Arianto Mel from Indonesia, threw his hat in the ring with the Incuba device. This imaginative gadget was said to convert water into hydrogen fuel and boast the astonishing capability of powering motorcycles for a staggering 500 kilometers on just a single liter of water. To top it off, he claimed that high-profile names such as Lamborghini and Ferrari were interested in his invention. However, scientists in Indonesia quickly leapt into action, debunking his assertions with the clarity of scientific reasoning, stating they violated the very laws of physics as we understand them. But let's take a moment to step back and acknowledge a broader concern that looms over all this. I don't know about you, but when I hear the word hydrogen, my mind instantly flashes to the Hindenburg disaster. Not exactly the kind of image you'd like associated with your family car, right? Hydrogen has built quite a reputation for being the wild child of the elemental world. Think of it as that one quirky friend who's always out for fun but might just accidentally set your kitchen ablaze. It's volatile, a term that serves to highlight just how much it craves chaos and danger. So what are the possible challenges that Toyota's hydrogen is about to face? Let me break it down for you. Production complexity. Let's talk about the head-scratching challenge of producing green hydrogen on a grand scale. Right now, creating this eco-friendly version of hydrogen using electrolysis powered by renewable energy sources isn't exactly cost-effective. In fact, it's more expensive than turning natural gas into hydrogen using a process known as steam methane reforming. This getting green hydrogen on the map faces a wall made up of the high costs associated with both the electrolyzers and renewable energy itself. Technological advancements have helped nudge electrolyzer technology forward, but there's still a boulder-sized hurdle with achieving significant economies of scale. To make green hydrogen truly competitive with its fossil fuel counterpart, innovations in electrolyzer efficiency and cost-cutting are non-negotiable. It's not just about refining the tech, but doing so in a way that makes it accessible and affordable on a larger stage. Think about the grand scale of production needed for green hydrogen. This isn't just about pouring investment into a few solar panels or breezy wind turbines. This is infrastructure on a big, bustling scale. We're talking about massive renewable energy production facilities and sophisticated electrolyzer setups. The coordination required for these developments presents a logistical puzzle that few dare to piece together. It's like playing a game of real-life Tetris with high stakes and no room for errors. Now, let's dive into the tricky terrain of storage complexities. Hydrogen isn't your straightforward fuel. It demands to be stored at outrageously high pressures, up to 700 bar, because it doesn't like ambient conditions with its low energy density. You need tanks as tough as superheroes, built to withstand these pressures without succumbing to leaks or, worse, a dangerous failure. It's a high-stakes game of keeping the genie in the bottle without a hitch. The problem deepens with material challenges. Hydrogen cheekily slips through many materials far more easily than other gases, creating sneaky leak risks. It also has a pesky habit called hydrogen embrittlement, which makes certain metals brittle over time. This means that picking the right materials for storage tanks and pipelines is like choosing the right lock for Pandora's box, essential and fraught with consequences if you get it wrong. Layer upon layer of stringent safety regulations overshadow the storage and transport of hydrogen. With its flammable nature and the risks tied to those sky-high pressures, complying with these regulations piles on both complexity and costs, slowing down the rollout of hydrogen infrastructure like molasses in winter. Market acceptance. Consumer perceptions are the kingmakers in the world of vehicle adoption, and understanding how they form their opinions about hydrogen vehicles is key. The truth is, many folks don't really know much about hydrogen vehicles. Imagine hearing about a car that runs on hydrogen and wondering, is it some kind of fancy science experiment? There's a serious lack of awareness on how these vehicles operate, or why they might be better than the cars people already know. This ignorance breeds skepticism. The average consumer might hesitate, questioning if these vehicles are truly safe or practical, or perhaps envisioning a hydrogen car as a ticking time bomb. Without clear knowledge of the benefits of hydrogen cars compared to those fueled by electricity or gasoline, mystery morphs into doubt. Speaking of safety concerns, it seems some misconceptions don't die easily. Many might still hold on to the outdated belief that hydrogen vehicles are just explosions waiting to happen. Yet experts repeatedly demonstrate that hydrogen, when managed correctly, is no more explosive than gasoline or natural gas. It's a persistent myth, like the notion that lightning never strikes the same place twice. Unmasking hydrogen technology with educational initiatives is crucial for building a bridge of trust with consumers, showing them that science has this firmly under control. But comparisons are where things get tricky. Electric vehicles have made themselves comfortable in the market, cozying up with consumers, partly thanks to their well-built infrastructure and the ease of home charging. They seem to have it all figured out, don't they? Meanwhile, hydrogen vehicles often stumble at the hurdle of refueling infrastructure. Limited access to refueling stations can be a deal breaker, sending potential buyers running, thinking it's more trouble than it's worth. Now let's ponder performance. One of the aces up hydrogen's sleeve is its fast refueling time and the ability to travel longer distances compared to battery-powered electric vehicles. But here's the twist. Consumers juggle a variety of factors when choosing a car. They weigh the upfront costs, the ease and convenience of recharging or refueling, and the environmental footprint. So hydrogen's perks might not shine as brightly when faced with these entrenched considerations. Here's where government incentives swoop in to save the day, or at least give hydrogen vehicles a fighting chance. Policies crafted with care can nudge market acceptance by offering incentives to consumers and manufacturers diving into hydrogen technology. It's like throwing a financial lifeline to offset those daunting initial costs and spurring a broader jump into this hydrogen-powered pool. Future potential. Imagine a future where vehicles don't just need one type of power, but seamlessly blend the best of both worlds. Electric motors and hydrogen engines coexisting in harmony to redefine efficiency and performance. This isn't some distant sci-fi scenario, it's a tangible opportunity that comes with integrating hydrogen engines into hybrid systems. By leveraging the combined strengths of hydrogen combustion engines or fuel cell systems alongside electric motors, manufacturers are crafting powertrains that are nothing short of revolutionary. First, let's talk about complementary power sources. Picture a hydrogen engine acting as a powerful range extender for battery electric vehicles. It's like the ultimate travel buddy, generating electricity on the go to recharge the battery, turning limited range into a thing of the past. Imagine cruising along on a long-distance road trip without constantly hunting for charging stations, especially when there's a desert of infrastructure ahead. It transforms travel, allowing you to wander further without frequent pit stops for recharging. Then the dynamic energy management, a game changer in fuel efficiency. Hybrid systems using hydrogen are smart. They optimize energy usage based on wherever the road takes you. Imagine driving in the bustling city, low-speed, urban conditions, where the car quietly and efficiently uses electric power. Now hit the highway or blast off with heavy acceleration and see the hydrogen engine roar to life, providing the extra power demanded by the open road. This adaptive energy use isn't just clever, it's key to reducing emissions and maximizing fuel efficiency. Moving on to performance, hydrogen combustion engines pack a punch with high power outputs and rapid refueling capabilities. They're tailored for quick turnarounds, perfect for commercial vehicles or the rigorous demands of public transport. Coupled with electric motors, they don't just roll, they accelerate like a dream, delivering responsiveness that enhances the driving experience and leaves a lasting impression. By integrating hydrogen technology, another unexpected benefit emerges: reduced battery size. Sounds simple, but it's profound. Smaller and lighter batteries mean lowered production costs and improved vehicle dynamics. It's like giving your car an instant agility boost. Let's not ignore scalability. The flexibility of these hybrid systems is remarkable, adaptable across an array of vehicle types, from sleek passenger cars to robust heavy-duty trucks. It's the Swiss Army knife of vehicle technology, proving hydrogen isn't just a niche option, but a versatile player in a broad field of applications. Long-term goals. Now let's zoom out and talk about long-term development goals, where Toyota leads the charge. They've crafted a crystal-clear vision for achieving carbon neutrality, boldly making hydrogen a cornerstone of their strategy. Their ambition is staggering. By 2040, they not only aim to neutralize carbon emissions, but also revolutionize entire vehicle offerings in Europe a decade before the rest of the world. This quest includes pioneering advanced hydrogen technologies deployable in various mobility applications. The evolution doesn't stop there. Toyota is already rolling up its sleeves, working on next-generation fuel cell technology expected to be unwrapped by 2026. The promise? Fuel cells with longer life cycles, ranges boosting up to 20%, and costs significantly reduced to make hydrogen vehicles more wallet-friendly and accessible to the masses. In a bold strategic move, the establishment of the hydrogen factory in Europe stands as a beacon of Toyota's determination. This facility isn't just about scaling up hydrogen production, it's about laying down the infrastructure and fostering industry partnerships to breathe life into a new demand for hydrogen solutions. Toyota's vision transcends mere passenger vehicles. It spans a plethora of sectors, from heavy-duty transport to buses, trains, and even marine applications. Through diversity in hydrogen offerings, they aim to build a vast ecosystem catalyzing widespread adoption. In their endeavor, Toyota isn't alone. They're deeply engaged in collaborative efforts to bolster hydrogen infrastructure and production, joining forces with heavyweights like Coca-Cola and Air Liquide. By piloting hydrogen fuel cell trucks for freight transport, they're showcasing a vision for decarbonizing logistics, a cornerstone for impactful change. The potential market impact from these hydrogen advancements is poised to shift the entire automotive landscape, altering consumer choices and industry dynamics profoundly. As climate change awareness rises and governments strengthen emissions regulations, zero-emission vehicles will reign, and hydrogen vehicles, a contender with swift refueling times and longer ranges than battery electric vehicles, might snatch a piece of this burgeoning market. Growth in hydrogen vehicle demand isn't just about the vehicles. Infrastructure development becomes an exciting ally. Building more refueling stations not only supports consumer adoption, but also spurs manufacturers to roll out more hydrogen-powered cars, creating a thriving and competitive environment for innovation and reducing consumer prices over time. Globally, hydrogen technology is knitting together collaborations among governments, businesses, and research institutions. It's a unified front propelling sustainable energy advancements crucial for broad adoption. By transitioning to hydrogen, there lie long-term economic benefits in manufacturing advancements, infrastructure build-out, and renewable energy production. As nations chase energy independence through local hydrogen generation, a tide of new job opportunities in these burgeoning sectors is ready to lift economies, making hydrogen the fuel of the future. That's all, folks. Do you think they can really compete with electric vehicles in the market? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.